Well, happy Wednesday to everyone. So last week I made the mistake. Luckily, it was just the core group of members, but I had my headset set to be working instead of my Yeti mic. So please let me know if you guys can't hear me. I hope you can. And the guys are right outside the door working. So if you hear some weird noises, because they're making lift tubes. And so hopefully this is good. Please let me know right away in the comment section. Loud and clear. There we go. Jess Shrimp Granny just did it. And so Steven Conrex, I've been talking to him before the stream started. He said, let's get the party started. Dropping a $1.99 super chat, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. So good morning to everyone that's here. I guess it's Wednesday, which means hump day, which means coffee with Flip, and also means some really, really good coffee. Full disclosure, this is decaf coffee, but it is mighty good. It tastes almost the same, and it keeps me from getting all crazy, all nervous and jittery and all that stuff. So I'm still taking a break from normal coffee. I've been drinking a little bit here and there, and so this is a good mix. Stephen Conroe. Not Conrex. Conroe dropped another $2 super chat just to tell me how to pronounce the name accurately. So now I know Conroe. And we were talking before chat. Apparently we play some of the same games, so we're going to have to game it up at some point. But let me go through, say good morning to everyone. Another rumor, first person here, good morning to you. Unfiltered Aquarius, Daryl Deemer, Brian's Fish Tanks, Florantes, Sonko, The Water Box. Steven was here, Christopher Burrell. So good morning to everyone. Jess is here. Yeah. So we got a lot of members in the house right off the bat. And good morning to all of them. And then some other people filtering in now. Christopher Gonzalez says, what's up, Rob? Good morning. Good morning to you. Abel, good morning. Spencer Wheeler, what's going on? Parker Benz, good morning. So if you guys didn't know, we do a Wednesday live stream every single Wednesday, so feel free to always tune in. It's at 10:30 Eastern time. We drink a little bit of coffee together. We just hang out, talk about we usually don't even talk about fish-related stuff. It's more or less my therapy session, and you guys are just the witnesses to it. And so we just hang out, have a good time, talk about whatever the conversation leads us to, whatever my wild mind leads me to talk about. And it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm still drinking decaf, but it's getting close. I hope I can go back to regular. Michael Thorne Lee, greetings from Australia. Good morning from all the way to Australia, which I believe it's really late. No, it's early in the morning for you guys. So good morning. Just got a new member, Unfiltered Aquarius, dropping a new membership. So thank you so much. If you guys didn't know this, we do this live stream, as I said, every single week, but the opposite weeks are just for members. So if you want a more one-on-one experience, a more intimate experience, definitely feel free to check out membership and become a part of it. Maria, good morning from Miami, Florida. Scott H. said, it's great to finally catch you live. It's great to have you here, Scott. Always good to hang out. Well-Kept Aquatics says, good morning, brother. Good morning to you. Sean, good morning. Michael, 12:30 a.m. in Australia. So I guess that's not too bad. That's not bad at all. 12:30. Oh no, so it's nighttime. Wow, so you're up late. I got my time confused. So my time, if it was 9:30 p.m., it'd be like midday for you guys. So I had it a little bit backwards, or 10:30. I guess I'm all kinds of confused. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna be doing an Australian live stream pretty soon with some guys over there, and it will be good. Hit that like button, Jess said, if you haven't already. Thank you so much, Jess. Dwayne Perry said, I'm picking up 15 cherry shrimp and I have 20 blue velvets and a bunch of pagoda and assassin snails on the way. Wow, so you got a lot going on there, Dwayne. That's awesome. It's always fun setting up a new tank and getting more things going. We got B. St. John in the house. Mark, he said, how you survive because of me? So Mark's our handyman. He does a lot of the construction here. He fixed a lot of the issues, which just so Mark knows, we do have an issue with our hot water tank right now. We got another new member. So Senpai82 dropping a new membership. Thank you so much, and really appreciate that. And after I say hi to everyone, we'll get into the actual topic today, which today we're talking about how Flip Aquatics thrives while other pet stores are struggling to survive. Now it has a good ring to that, but we'll talk about like the things that we're doing that I believe are helping. And truthfully, it really doesn't have as much to do about our day-to-day operation, but it has a lot to do about the leadership of the company and the direction that you take your company. And so we'll get into all that, but I feel like it'll be a fun topic. It'll give you guys some insight on what we got going on and a little bit of my backstory. Adrian Castillo, good morning. Listening from Dallas. I love Dallas. Michael Thornley says he's a night owl, so he's up at 12:30 in Australia, having a good old time. Feeling beta, good morning. It's Flip Aquatics live stream time, which means it's water change day in the fish room. Wednesday is a good water change day. Wednesday is just a great day. It's the middle of the week. It breaks it up. It's time that we can all just chill out, relax, make a great week out of it. I know a lot of you are probably working right now. I know I'm working, but it's one of those things that you can look forward to on a Wednesday. You can put it in on your headphones, listen while you're at work. So anyone that's out there working today, I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you're enjoying it. And don't worry if you can't chat me back or anything like that. Just the fact that you're here, I appreciate it. Hopefully your Wednesday grind is not that bad. Only 2 more days till the weekend, and then all kinds of fun activities start, and it'll be good. So Parker Benz, welcome to membership. Thank you so much for signing up. I really do appreciate you. Christopher Gonzalez asked if I play PS4 and Xbox. I'm personally an Xbox guy. Always been, always will be, unless something else changes. I prefer PC stuff, but we won't talk about that. We could always talk about that stuff on next week. If you're a member, we can talk about that in that stream because there's always lack of things to talk about. So we just kind of ramble and just talk about whatever. And so yeah, Water Change Wednesday, aka Flip Aquatics, Coffee with Flip Wednesday, whatever. And it's gonna be a great topic today. I'm really excited to get into it. Another rumor said I'm at work mowing, listening on my headphones. That is pretty nice. You get to be outside, you get to get a little sun, and you get to listen to your headphones. So that's a win-win. And then a lot of people are saying PC versus console, and I would agree, but it's a lot more expensive to have a PC. I will tell you that. But luckily for my business, I have to have a good PC to be able to edit videos. So you get the best of both worlds there. But the topic today, let me get a little sip of coffee, and we'll get right into it. So, why is Flip Aquatics thriving while other stores are surviving? So, I don't know if this is happening in your guys' area, but I know it happens in my area. I mean, it's like all the time there's a pet store that's closing down that's been in business for 60 years. There's new pet stores trying to start up, and they're closing down. I see shrimp hobbyists putting websites out there, and they do their best for 2-3 years, and then they close down. And it's just a never-ending thing. When I started in this hobby, there were, I want to say, 3 or 4 dominant shrimp websites that were selling at the time. And I would say of those websites, there's only maybe 2 remaining, and one of them isn't even that good anymore. They barely update their website. They're just surviving. They're not thriving by any stretch of the imagination. And so it just shows you that things change so rapidly. I mean, I started this business in 2014. It's been, a little over 5 years. I started in July. No, I started planning way before July, probably like 3 or 4 months. I mean, I'd been thinking about it for forever, but actually planning probably 3 months before July. Started in July officially. And so I've been at this for 5 years, and I've seen a lot of people come and go in just a 5-year period, which is pretty crazy to think about. Like 5 years really isn't that long. But in 5 years, I can't say that Flip Aquatics went from, a hobbyist operation that I was just, loving it, passionate about it, to the #1 shrimp retailer in the United States. And I can say that with confidence because, yeah, we go through, we sell a ton of shrimp, put it that way. And so yeah. Now, that just doesn't happen overnight. It isn't something that like, hey, like, Rob just got lucky. Maybe he had a YouTube channel and that was lucky, and maybe It just worked out. He was right place, right time. And it's easy to say those things, but that's not the truth. It's easy to rationalize it, to make yourself feel better, for lack of other words. So a lot of business owners will just justify it with like, oh, like, the only reason he's having success is because X, Y, and Z. And that is not the truth of it. The truth of it, there's a lot of factors that come into play to get to a point where you're thriving. And so before I get into, like, I even wrote them down just because I wanted to stay on point somewhat. But before we even get into it, I just want to say one thing. I guess we'll just get right into it. So why are you starting your business? So that is the big thing. So if you have a pet store, usually these pet stores that have been in business forever, they've been handed down from generation 1 to generation 2, possibly generation 3. And generation 2 and generation 3 usually aren't as passionate about it. And so it just kind of dies off. They're not really, they're really not going after other avenues. They're not really looking into social media. And so it's just like the old ways die. And that happens with a lot. I mean, you could see it with some of the trade shows. Like Aquatic Experience is one that has been the same way for so long. And the board of directors are the same guys that have always been there. And they have these monster companies, and they've always had these monster companies. Like, and it just happens, but they never want to change anything. And I know that personally because we've run the fish tube booth there. And the first year it was great. They really didn't even want to give us a booth. We had to really try to get a booth. And then they eventually okay, we'll give you one. And then they saw the line that we had at our booth. There was Corey there. There was a bunch of other YouTubers there. There was a constant line of people signing up for autographs or waiting in line for autographs. And it was great. And then they even came up and they're like, hey, like, this is awesome. But, we're getting a lot of complaints about, your line blocking other booths and stuff like that. And they looked at it the wrong way. Like instantly I would think like, ooh, a line, like, boom, I want my booth over there because that's where all the people are. And other people looked at it like, hey, no one can get to my booth because of this line. And so they just have that old school thinking. And then as the years progressed, like it got a little bit easier to get some help and things like that. But they, Aquatic Experience is just an old show. Like it's just, older people taking care of it, people that have been doing it the same way for maybe 20 years. And then you look at shows like Aquashella, that's only, 2 years old at this point, a year old at this point, something like that. And they're just crushing it because they get it. They're new. They're willing to try new things. They're willing to go new directions. They're willing to fail in other areas. And so, boom, they see success. And now, granted, the people behind Aquashella are very strategic and they really go through things and all that. But at the end of the day, like they know what they're doing. And so they're willing to take risk. And so I guess that's a really important thing. But I guess like the old school, if you're not willing to change, like that's when you really start failing. And so you always have to be willing to change. I would say one of the greatest qualities that a business owner could have is the ability to self-evaluate themselves. And so self-evaluate. So like every day I look at like, what am I doing? Could I be doing it better? When people say things to me, are they just saying it because maybe they're stubborn or maybe they're stuck in their ways, or are they actually giving me good feedback on things that I need to change? And so you always have to be self-evaluating. But with all this said, my number one thing that you need to have to be thriving in a business is to have a reason why. And your reason why has to make sense. So like when I started my business, I didn't just start because like I wanted to be the number one USA shrimp retailer in the country. I didn't go into business thinking like, hey, like I want to make a bunch of money. I went into business thinking like, hey, I want to see my hobby changed. I noticed that no one else out there is doing it the way that I want it done. And I see a change that needs to happen and I need to be that change. And so my reason why is because I wanted to see a change. And your reason why will evolve and it will morph and it will change. But that's why I started off. It wasn't because like so many people, the reason why, and I know you can guess this, like fill in the blank. Like the reason why I want to start a business is blank. What is it for you? A lot of people, it's money. A lot of people, it's freedom. And so all those things are great, but you have to know to be a complete success in business, you have to be a servant of your business. You have to be a servant of your employees. You have to be a servant of the day-to-day operation. And so I come every day and I just serve other people. I serve the customer. I serve my employees. I serve the livestock. And I just do everything I can, whatever it takes to make the business run. And so when you say freedom, yeah, like one day, like if it's super successful, you have tons of freedom. But at the end of the day, I guess I do have freedom. If I want to stay home today and not do this live stream, I could have stayed in bed. If I wanted to not come in the rest of the week, I could do that. Now my business would suffer because of it, but at the end of the day, I could do that. So there is freedom, there is money, and there's all these things. But the biggest thing is, why are you starting it? And it can't be for those two reasons. It has to be something deeper. So obviously, I love shrimp, absolutely phenomenally. Like, I love shrimp, and it just so happens that I love business. And so all of a sudden, like, boom, you merge my two favorite things together, and like, that's my reason why. And I saw a difference that needed to be made in our hobby. When I started, I remember, and you can look back and find these videos. I was making videos in my basement. I remember ordering all these shrimp in, putting them in the tank, finding out that, they're breeding. Some have diseases, some have parasites, some are dying just because they're dying, and I didn't know what I was doing wrong. And then after going through this and wasting a lot of money, I realized, like, hey, like, they're not dying because of me. They're dying because the quality of the livestock is really poor. Like, whatever these things have gone through before getting here, like, that's bad. And so I forget who it was, but I was talking with someone, and they're like, hey, like, it would be great to breed them here in the United States. And I'm like, you're right. Like, it would be great. It would be awesome if there was a breeder like there are in Taiwan breeding in the United States. So I'm like, I'm going to do that. And so that was my reason why. I had a passion just to see my hobby changed. Like, I didn't want people to feel how I felt, which, like, at some points I was ready to throw in the towel and just give up on the hobby because everything I got was dying. And it wasn't even my fault. And so a lot of hobbyists give up because of that. And so I wanted to prevent that and see it change. And so I went through the process. I figured out, I'm going to start this business. This is what I'm going to do. And I just grinded. And I grinded and I grinded and I grinded, and it got me here. And it's been a crazy ride. But the two next things is, you have to love what you do. So one, I love business and I love animals. So a lot of pet store people love pets, but they don't like business. And it's really, really hard to succeed if you don't have a passion for the business side of it as well. And so, yeah, you can come in.
I need your autograph.
You need my autograph? I need my autograph. Come on in. You want to get on the live stream? Oh, we got a big old package. So this is completely different. Is that for the German order?
Yeah.
Okay. We're live streaming. You can say there's 126 people here.
Hi, people.
This is my postman.
Awesome, boss.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
You too. Hey, Jeff, can you close that for me? Thanks, buddy. So that's a prime example of being a business owner. Like, stuff like that happens all day, and it just happens. You just deal with it. So I am glad we've been waiting on our glass garden order. We've gotten 3 of the 4 packages, and so the 4th one just came. So that's really good news. So now I'm even more happy. But yeah, so I was like, who would be knocking? They know I'm live streaming right now. This is the postman. So, hey, Mr. Postman. He is a fishy mailman. No, he's a good dude. He really is. So anyway, a lot of pet store owners love animals, but they don't like business. And to be honest, you have to have a passion for business. You just have to. So like, oh, we got George Farmer in the house. I just saw him come up. So shout out to George Farmer. Dropping a $14.99 super chat. Let's see something. George was so close to hitting 100K, and I want to see if he made it there. He did. So he has 100,000 subscribers, or 100,166 subscribers. So I guess we could take a minute in this live stream and just congratulate George Farmer for the hard work that he's put in, for the dedication to the hobby. He's a aquascaper. So if you guys don't know him, definitely check him out. Definitely go check him out after this stream. Don't go leaving the stream, but you could click on his name and go find his channel, subscribe to him. The guy's doing some awesome things. He's a really humble, nice guy every time I've met him. So huge shout out to George Farmer, and congratulations to him for hitting 100K subscribers. It's just really awesome. So George, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. And so, yeah, so back on topic. You have to have a passion for business. So just to give you a little backstory, when I was little, my favorite game in the whole world pretty much was Monopoly. Like, I loved Monopoly just because, like, it's like a business type game. Like everyone always says it's luck, and sure, there's a little bit of luck. There's a little bit of luck in everything, in business and life, everything. But there's a ton of strategy that goes into it. And so ever since I was a little kid, I was always like trying to like do business. And so, yeah, it's just cool. Like I've always loved business. I've always had a passion for business. I feel like it's my calling in life to be a business owner. And it just so happened that I get to combine my two favorite passions in life, or my two favorite hobbies, which is business and shrimp, and combine them together. And so I would say those are two important things. You need to be very passionate about what you're doing. And if you're not passionate about the business side, you need to partner up with someone that is, and let your two passions mix together. And so, so I think those are very important. Another thing that's very important, which I listed as number 4, is something I think YouTube did for me that I don't think a lot of businesses have. And what it is a word that I like to call transparency. And so if you go back and you watch my whole journey on YouTube and what I've gone through and the mistakes I've made and the lessons I've learned, you will see that I am 100% transparent, because my biggest mistakes are on there. My biggest flaws are on there. When I've made like horrible decisions and killed some stuff, it's on there. When I thought I knew something, I put it on there, and it might not have been completely accurate or the most true thing. But in the moment, like that's what I thought was completely accurate. And so that's what I shared. And so this journey, this YouTube channel has been a story of Flip Aquatics. It's been a story of the start of it, and it all starts from me getting my first fish tank, which is on YouTube. And that all goes in the whole process of why we're here where we are. And you guys can follow along on that journey, which I just think is such a cool thing. But transparency is the number one thing. So many businesses, so many YouTubers just try to put on a fake face, a facade, just to try to grow, just try to succeed, try to go bigger and better. And the truth is, like, if you're always trying to put on a mask, it makes life very exhausting. Like, it's so much easier just to be you. It's so much easier just to be me and just to share everything. Like, yeah, it's just crazy. Like, just in our business, like, we get criticized, not as much anymore, but definitely like a year or two ago, we got criticized so much. Like, they sell imported shrimp. They say they quarantine them for 30 days, but do they actually, does a 30-day quarantine even work? It's just a marketing thing. And so on and so forth. Like, so many things. So many people have tried to get us caught up in lies. And they're like, well, you said this, and then you said this. And it's just like, you have to go back and forth and like retract the whole steps with them for them to understand. And then, there's 18 people jumping in because they want to see you fail. And it's just like, it's tons of stuff. It's tons of stuff. And so transparency is always the best, because if you're trying to hide things, it's always going to come to the surface eventually. So just be transparent. So again, you have to have your reason why. And it can't be money. It can't be freedom. It has to be a good reason. Like, why are you doing this? Are you passionate about what you're doing? And you have to be. So be passionate about it. Have a reason why, and know why you're doing what you're doing. And even if it is for money, let it be something good. Let it be like you want to buy your mom this house that she's always wanted. You want to bring your family closer together. You want to provide for your spouse, whatever it is. But also be passionate about what you're doing, because you can't just have passion for business. You have to have passion for what you're doing. In this case, it would be animals. And then needs. I think this is by far the most important thing. Owning a business is needs. Like, what do I need? And so I guess a good word is being content or content. And so in what you do and everything you do, you have to be content. You have to be comfortable in the place that you're in. You have to be, I guess you don't have to be comfortable there, but you have to be content with what you have and not crave more. I mean, it's okay to crave more, but let me bring it all full circle. So if this business collapsed today and I didn't have Flip Aquatics and I had no money and nothing, I would be just as happy today as I would be then. And so for me, like, the money, the popularity, the YouTube channel, the attention, like, it's all just there. Like, for me, like, my happiness comes from making a difference. And so, like, I love animals. So my happiness comes from working with animals all day. I love business. So my happiness comes from working in business all day. Like, I love coming here and just being able to look at this tank, being able to work on these computers, and being able to spend time with my employees that work here, like that, I love it. And so what do you need? Like, I don't need a nice house. I don't need money. I don't need a fancy car. I don't need to travel the world. I don't even need like a crazy, super fancy camera. Like, this is great. Like, I don't need those things. And so, like, if you're really trying to succeed in business, really decrease your needs. And so, like, is it okay to sleep on the floor? Is it okay to sleep on the couch in your warehouse? Is it okay to go into debt and not have any money? Is it okay not to go hang out with your friends for a year or two while you get your business up and going? Is it okay to work 80 hours a week? Is it okay to sacrifice some relationships in your life just because you're too busy? Like, is that okay? And so for me, I had my reason why. I knew why I was doing what I was doing, and that's all I focused on. And so what are your needs? If your needs are to be home, and I understand it, if your needs are to be with your wife and your family at 5 o'clock and you work till 3 and you have 2 extra hours, like, it's going to be really hard for you to build a successful business or at least survive in this industry because you have people like myself that I work and I work and I work and I love it. And then you have people like Corey from Aquarium Co-op. He works and he works and he works and he loves it. And you have people that are willing to like put in everything and outwork everyone else. And so it makes it hard for those people that need a vacation and need to be out of town all the time or need a fancy car. And, you know, they're always spending money on things that aren't business related. Like, just full disclosure, I drive my dad's work van. So my dad has an extra work van. I don't even have my own car. I drive my dad's work van. And to be honest, like, Flip Aquatics is, in my opinion, a very successful business. We bring in a lot of sales every single month. And if I wanted to, I could go buy a nice car, or I could spend money on a really nice house. I could do all those things, but I don't need those things, and I don't really want those things. Now, there's some things that my wife wants, and like, she does want a new house, and eventually we're going to get a new house because I want her to be happy, and I want her to be able to have her family come into town and all those kind of things. And so there's things that we're going to get, but at this point, I would much rather all the money that's been coming in, I would much rather go and start a fish room with 125 gallons so that we can better serve our customer, to have more stock and better serve the hobby, and then have a gallery with huge fish tanks that we can use for education and to teach people about aquariums. And eventually, if everything goes the way it's planned and we keep pushing in the right direction, there's going to come a time where money is just like a byproduct of what we're doing. Like, it's just there, and it just magically just keeps replenishing. Like, actors call it mailbox money. Every month it just shows up in the mailbox, like for work you did a long time ago. So as a business owner, to really succeed, you have to put all your, like, you just have to go all in and just know that one day it might pay off. And that's how I go. Like, again, because for me, if it all failed, like, okay, like, 28 years old, I got plenty of time left. And so many people just go into it for the money and the freedom, and they don't like really like go after it. Like, my theory is I always push. I never want to be comfortable. I feel like in faith, in my walk, in my business, like, if you're comfortable, it means you're not doing anything. Like, comfort is a scary place to be because you can get comfortable being there. Like, you could just stay there. And when you stay there, like, what's that good? Like, you're allowing other people to surpass you. You're maybe going backwards. A quote that I heard is, you're either going forward or backwards. There's no staying still. So comfort usually means that you're going backwards. And so I would much rather keep pushing forward, keep going, keep going, keep going. And I always say I would much rather fail because I risked too much than fail because I didn't risk enough. So I will always live that way. And it's not because I want more money. It's not because I'm greedy, not for any of those reasons. It's just because, like, I'm going for it. Like, I don't see Flip Aquatics being $1 million business. I don't see Flip Aquatics being a $10 million business. I see Flip Aquatics being a $50 to $100 million business that we're completely changing the hobby. We're importing from all the different countries, and we have fish, we have snails, we have everything, and we're just providing for the United States and quarantining. And granted, there's some good companies out there doing it, but honestly, I don't think there's any companies that are as ambitious as we are. And so I see a need and I want to fill that need. And I want to provide for the hobby that I absolutely love. And that's aquarium hobby. And so I know that I hear stories all the time of people that were changed because they had an aquarium and it just completely turned their life around. And so I love that. And I love the fact of bringing nature into the world or bringing it into the home. And one really cool thing that happened for me is once I really got into aquariums and shrimp and all that stuff, I really started appreciating the small things, like an ant walking on the concrete. Before I wouldn't even think twice about just stepping on it. Like it really didn't matter. It's just an ant. But now I really appreciate life. Like I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna kill an ant. Like it's just doing its thing. And so you really start to appreciate it. And if the next generation can truly appreciate nature, it will be the difference that we need to sustain humanity. I mean that's a pretty far stretch at that point. That's looking pretty deep, but I mean, why not? Like it starts right now. It starts with us. And so, so the reason Flip Aquatics is thriving is because we're willing to risk it all. We're willing to live on nothing. We're willing to do what it takes to make it happen. We're willing to put in the hours to grow and make sure everyone is getting what they need as far as customers and employees and all that stuff. And so we're willing to do whatever it takes. And many businesses are not willing to do that. And you really it really comes down to finding a niche too. Like I found a niche, it was shrimp. So we are really well known for ornamental shrimp, freshwater shrimp. And so you can't just start a business, at least I don't think, you can't just start a business selling fish food. You might be able to if you have a really big following and you tell everyone to buy fish food from you and it might be moderately successful. But you need to have something unique. Need more coffee. Yawning all over you guys. So you need to be unique. You need to have that niche. You need to have that one thing that separates you from everyone else. You can't just be another one. You can't just be another pet store. You can't just be another Flip Aquatics. You can't just be another shrimp retailer. What separates you from everyone? And for us, it's just shrimp in general. That's what separates us from anyone else. And then above all that, why are we the best shrimp sellers? Like why are we the number one retailer? It's because we quarantine our shrimp for 30 days. We guarantee that they're going to arrive healthy. We make sure that they're disease-free, they're parasite-free. If they're not, we're going to send you more shrimp. We're going to cover the cost, all that stuff. And so a lot of companies are starting to be that way, but none of them are as ambitious to do a 30-day quarantine. So there's things that just separate us from everyone else. And as we've grown, we've been able to introduce new things like plants and filters and fish food and shrimp food and rocks and driftwood and all this stuff. So all that happens in time, but you really need to have your one thing that separates you from anyone else. And once you have that, you're really going to start doing good. You have to have a following. You have to be on social media at this point. If you're not on social media, you need to get on social media. You need to start putting videos out there. You need to reach out to people like me and be like, hey, can I interview you? Can you come on my channel? Like anything. And that's how you start growing. And so I did see Brian's Fish Takes dropping a $5 super chat. And he said mailbox money, $5 super chat. Mailbox money is good money. And it's always nice to have it come in. And so let me see what you guys are saying. I do want to respond to some comments, but that's just a little bit of a rant. Like if you really want to succeed in this area, you really have to put in the work. You have to be willing to throw it all in. Like if I had to, I'd put my house on the line. I would do it in a second. And that's just what it takes. You got to be willing to really go after it. And I'm willing to do that. And I know there's other people that are willing to do that. And so granted, not everyone has to be extreme, and success is in the eye of the beholder. Obviously, I'm going really, really hard and pushing really, really fast because I see myself being way up here, and I feel like we're only right here right now. Now, if your goal is to build a business that brings in $10,000 a month, and you make 50% of that, and you want to have an income of $3,000 or $4,000 a month, hey, maybe that won't be as hard as what we're trying to do, and maybe it will take less work. But just a little bit of insight for what I've seen in the 5 years that I've been in business and how we've got to where we've got. And so I see Fish Tropic in the house. Shout out to you. Said, Rob, just keep pushing. Go for bust. You're only 28. LOL. Thought you were like 36. Yeah. The receding hairline definitely adds to my age. But other than that, like I guess I do have like a man beard, and I possibly look pretty old. And so I'll take 36. I'll take it. But yeah, I'm only 28. So I'm pretty young, relatively, especially for what we're doing. But yeah. It's cool. So feel free, guys, to ask questions. Tag Flip Aquatics in it. Again, shout out to George Farmer for hitting 100K subscribers. It's really, really awesome. Really appreciate him stopping in too. It's always cool to see other people, other YouTubers in the house. And so yeah. So let me see if I can find a couple questions. Sweden Aqua said, to have success, no matter what you do, you always have to look at how to keep new and up to date. Many older businesses don't do that. Yeah. Again, that comes back to being comfortable. A lot of the older businesses are comfortable in the ways that they do things, and that's why they don't want to change. And so you always have to keep moving in a direction that's new. And so comfortable is a bad place to be. Ugh. Sorry, I was getting a drink. If you're just listening, I was getting a drink of coffee. Just friended the like button. Thank you. River Life in the house. Shout out to River Life. Just a great guy, great YouTuber. Check him out if you haven't already. Opie's Aquatic says, how many likes on this video do we need to have you do a live stream in bed? Hello, you deserve a relaxing day. That's funny. I don't know if I could. I'd have to get the computer set up. I mean, I could always do it. The quality would be bad. But yeah, you would much rather me do it at work. I like working anyway. USPS in the house. Is he a fishy mailman? He is a fishy mailman. Or perhaps a shrimpy mailman. Yeah, definitely a shrimpy mailman. Willie's Aquarium Greenhouse said, thank you for this live stream. I'm starting my business breeding killifish because I want to see a lot more killifish in the hobby, and I really do enjoy the business aspect of things. Yeah, that's great. And if I could give any advice to anyone that's out there listening that wants to start a business, I say this to everyone because this is what I wish I would have done, is when I started, I tried to do a bunch of different shrimp. I try to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 20 different species of shrimp. I was more of a shrimp collector than I was a breeder. And so, like, if you only have one tank of each type of shrimp, you're really not going to have that many to sell. And honestly, you're probably going to sell pretty quick. Everyone's going to want stuff from you. It's always going to be out of stock. They're going to find it elsewhere. So if you're going to start a business and be successful, I really think you should choose maximum of like 3 types of things that you're going to breed, and breed tons of them. And just always have them in stock. And then if you have too many, you can always wholesale them. And then all of a sudden, if you're breeding red bristlenose or super red bristlenose or whatever they call it, super red plecos, and you have thousands of them and you're not selling them all, like, you can sell them wholesale. And what's going to end up happening is everyone's going to be like, hey, if you want super red bristlenose, go to Joe, because Joe has the best bristlenose. Like, and if you have 1,000, it means that you're able to select a breed. You're able to pick out really, really nice ones and sell those. You're able to grow some out and sell breeders and all that stuff. All of a sudden, everyone's going to know you for that. And so it's being known for one thing or 2 things or 3 things. And then just grow your business that way. So I always encourage people to do that. Like, if someone wanted to start a shrimp business tomorrow and they could potentially be my competition, I would give them the same advice. I'd be like, hey, pick crystal reds and be the best breeder crystal reds in the United States. And all of a sudden, everyone's going to know you for crystal reds. And then mysteriously, you might start selling crystal blacks. And then all of a sudden, you might be selling pure black line and pure red line. And then, now you have red fancy tigers. And so, like, all of a sudden, people will associate you with high quality because you're breeding that one thing. And you have to keep that quality up. And so you breed a couple things. And so that is the biggest advice I can give anyone that's wanting to do what I did, is start with 1 to 3 things and really, like, go after them. What fish? Everyone in here needs a job with a good woman, Rob. Yeah, it is nice to be able to work with my wife every day. It does have its struggles from time to time, but it is really nice. Honestly, that's probably one of the best feelings I have when I can look out this glass door and see my wife out there working and just think like, how cool is it that I was able to build a business that my wife could work at and live out this dream together. Like that's pretty cool. And then get to work with two of my really good friends. Like that's awesome. And not every day do people get to do that. And so I'm happy that I was able to build something to where, at least for now, I get to work with some people that I really enjoy. And it doesn't get much better than that. Drip coffee, but that's okay. I would love to have a job online doing something with aquatics. I got Hold on, I'm gonna try to sound this out. Disot on Amia. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. And you had to quit your job. So obviously it's something that's bad. So a sickness, a disorder, and I don't know how to pronounce it. Dystomnia. I don't know. But I'm sorry that happened to you. But it would be awesome to have an online job. You could just work from home. You could pack stuff up in your fish room, breed a few things. And honestly, like eBay and Amazon make it possible to do stuff like that. I'm late, but I'm here. Hello, everyone. Goose, not Maverick. Shout out to you. Thank you for showing up. Popcorn Mods in the house. I got to check out Popcorn Mods channel. Let's see. Popcorn Mods. You have a check mark, so you must be pretty official. 568,848 subscribers. Man, I feel bad. I gotta take a peek. Geez, you got a ton of live streams going. Well, thank you for stopping in. Always cool, and that's awesome. Fish Tropic said Rob's wife is the biggest supporter with his friends that build. Yeah, my wife's awesome, but you do have to know this. When you're potentially putting your house on the line for the business, it's hard for any wife to be supportive of that. So just know that. My wife is awesome. She supports me like crazy. She's an amazing woman. She's here every day. Not every day, but she's here most days. And she really, really helps out. But do know that working with your significant other will cause extra stress. Just simply because if I write a check for $10,000 to get X, Y, and Z, before I only had to answer myself. Now I have to, tell my wife that, hey, we're ordering this thing. It's $10,000, and then I might get that, that comment like, hey, like our landscaping is not done in our house. Why are we spending $10,000 on that when we could potentially, have all our landscaping done for $1,000? And so those type of questions do occur on occasion. Not beating on my wife at all. She is a big supporter, but do know working with a significant other is a challenging thing. And if you find the perfect balance, it works really well. And me and my wife are very close to finding that perfect balance. And then let's see what else everyone else. People are laughing at me. I get it. Senpai said, what kind of shrimp do you recommend to find a wife with? So I would definitely recommend royal blues. That's how I found my wife. Something about their just nice blue color with orange eyes she just fell in love with. And she didn't know with a purchase of 5 royal blues, it would come with a husband. And so here we are about 4 or 5 years later. And so yeah, that's what I would recommend. Let's see. DDS Aquatics says, are yellow lighting neos hard to breed? So they're easy to breed in low pH tanks, but they're hard to breed in high pH tanks, in my experience. Zach Clark said, hey, Rob, what's your favorite fish that can be kept in a 20 long with my cherry shrimp? Let me get a drink of coffee. So I would probably pick, I would do a dwarf rasbora. Those are by far my favorite. If budget wasn't a problem, I would do chili rasboras. Second, I would probably do the spotted raspberry. I just think they're cool. I mean, they're just spotted, but I don't know. I like them. There's Explanation Point, and then there's Mira. The Mira are really pretty too. They're pretty close to chili raspberries. So any of those would be good. Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning. Man, oh man, oh man. Let's see what else we got. I've never owned shrimp, but soon will. Do you recommend Crystal Reds as good beginner shrimp? So yeah, Crystal Reds are actually a great beginner shrimp. You just have to make sure to have the proper setup with them. So the biggest thing is having buffered substrate, using RO water remineralized with GHK or GH plus salty shrimp, and then getting into a TDS of about 150, and you'll be perfect. And then just follow like the basics, keeping shrimp. Don't do crazy water changes. Don't do crazy water changes. Nah, I can't think of it anymore. It's the biggest thing. Oh, don't overfeed. Don't do crazy water changes. Don't overfeed. Just keep it consistent. Oh, we have Lori's Heartland in the house. A dear friend of mine. Just an awesome, awesome person. She has goldfish, or a goldfish that I think she has two now. But the goldfish that I know of is Butters. And so Lori is just an amazing person. Lori, thank you so much for the super chat. Really do appreciate it. She said, have a great day, buddy. High five, a flower and a shrimp. Thank you so much, Lori. You have a great day too. And make sure to tell Patrick I said hello. And so they're just really good people. We're going to go out and visit them in Nashville pretty soon. We got to go out there for a different business type event. But we're going to go out there and see them. So it'll be really cool. But yeah, so let's see what else we got. Fish probably said, so you're going to run lighting for the shrimp downstairs in the new room? Absolutely, we're going to run lighting. The new room is going to be awesome. 100 125-gallon tanks, 100 plus 125-gallon tanks, just some crazy colonies. We were doing the math, and the amount of tanks that we have right now in our building that we're in is less than the amount of tanks that are going to be over there as far as gallonage. And so we will be able to keep more than double the inventory that we have now as far as livestock, which is like insane. And so with that means I really think we're going to be able to breed some stuff, which is going to be exciting. And so we've been talking about what we're going to breed. We're thinking about doing some, just common things like extreme black King Kongs, extreme red King Kongs, maybe a tank of galaxies, maybe a tank of, a couple tanks of tangerine tigers, a couple tanks of crystal reds, maybe some pure red line, something like that. We really don't know, but it's going to be good. And so A. Wilson said, having great customer service is so important for all business. You have great people working for you. Bought one of your first betas when they came out of quarantine. He's awesome. That's awesome. So I do agree. I think customer service is a really important key that I missed. And I have learned a lot about customer service since I started this business, obviously, because you have to. But I'll have to share it sometimes. One of my favorite things I do, it's not really my favorite, but it's kind of fun because I never learned the principle until I had a business, it's called firing a customer. And it sounds so funny, but there's some customers that are just truly a pain in the butt, or they ask a ton of questions. They always want a really great deal. They always are complaining when the shrimp come in, they're not good enough quality. They want new shrimp. And so like customers like that, we do something called firing the customer. And I'll tell them like, hey, like, I think you need a more personalized experience. Here are some great companies that you could buy shrimp from. I think they'll provide you the customer service that you need and the attention that you deserve. And I just think moving forward, it'd be a really good idea if you just ordered from someone else. And so we do that every once in a while. And then there's some customers that are just like horrible. Like, there's some. I mean, it doesn't happen very often. For every 100 customers, there might be one bad customer. And it makes you really appreciate the 100 or the 99 in that point. But it's one of those things that, but yeah, it's just one of those things that like you just learn over time. But customer service is so good. At the end of the day, we'd always just much rather refund, send another order, whatever it is, and just ensure that the customer's happy. And we always try to make sure that the customer's happy. I think we only have maybe like 5 customers ever that still are not happy with us, only because they refused to accept anything from us. Like, we had one customer that ordered all these shrimp, and we sent them out on a Monday, which we always do. And it turns out that it said the package was going to be delivered on Thursday, and USPS delivered it on Wednesday. And they emailed me like irate, absolutely irate. They're like, hey, it said it was going to arrive on Thursday. Now it arrived on Wednesday. I'm at a funeral. I'm out of town. I won't be home till Thursday. And now all the shrimp are going to die, and it's all your fault. And I'm like, it's not my fault. Like, that's USPS. Like, how can I control them? And nothing I could say or do made it any better. I believe they filed a claim with their credit card company. I believe they got their money back. Like, whatever. And so, like, customers like that, it's really hard to please customers like that, because at the end of the day, I tell everyone, like, I'm just a person. Like, let's just talk as people. Like, how can I help you? Like, obviously you're upset. I don't want you to be upset. I'm going to lose on this. You're going to lose on this. Like, how can we make this the best case scenario? And so that's what I always do. Jess, drop in a $5 super chat. Excited to see what arrives. Thanks again. No problem, Jess. We're shipping your beta fish out today, and hopefully you'll be able to get them back to looking great, and we'll be able to see a picture of them months from now, just doing awesome. And so yeah. So, guys, that's what I got for you. I know that there's some other questions. If I did miss some good questions, please comment down below. Not in the live stream chat, in the actual comment section of the video. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think, and leave that question, and I will either answer it in the comment section, or I'll answer it in next week's live stream. So, guys, definitely thank you so much for being a part of the Flip Aquatics live stream. Enjoying a little bit of coffee with Flip with yours truly. And it's been really great. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about our inner workings of our business. And hopefully some of you are motivated to go out there and start a business of your own. I think that'd be awesome. Definitely, if you take any of the advice and you end up going with it, definitely send me an email in a year from now and be like, hey, like, heard this video, I did this, now this is where I'm at. It's a lot of fun. Like, that would be awesome for me. It'd be fulfilling. So I think that'd be great. So again, to all of you, thank you so much. Just absolutely appreciate all of you. Love you guys. And I just pray that you guys have an awesome week. So I will talk with you guys soon. Thank you so much for hanging out, and God bless. See you guys next time.